It is great sadness to me to not be able to be with you today. Certainly in comparison to our Instagram and Twitter obsessed culture, Dad was an ordinary man of his time. His adolescence marked and matured by the horrors of the Second World War, and his young adulthood shaped by the so-called American dream of the post-war years. He had the great fortune that from his time at Central High School, and also with the Wiseman, he formed a group of friends with notable additions along the way that enriched his life beyond measure. The joy of these friendships brought to him was part of the very core of his life. But back to my reference of an ordinary life. If we hold high the values of unconditional love of family, the conduct of business in the fair and honest manner in which we would also be treated, a reverent regard for the natural world we inherited, and finally, an assumption of the essential goodness of our fellows, founded in the belief that we are all created in the image of God, then this was a life extraordinarily well lived. As many of you know, my father liked to talk, and finally talk about just one more thing before you go. Cindy and I learned early on in our childhood that when in Dad's company we heard the words, "Hi, I'm John Westman from Minnetonka, Minnesota," it was a cue to turn and walk as quickly as we were able in the opposite direction to avoid the embarrassment of being in our father's company while he started another conversation with another total stranger. It's odd, such embarrassment that I felt decades and decades ago. And yet, in my adulthood, I came to envy Dad's social ease, something that I don't have. In closing, I would like to recite a portion of the lyrics of a hymn written shortly after the end of our nation's Civil War. There's a land that is fairer than day, and by faith we can see it afar. For the Father waits over the way to prepare us a dwelling place there. In the sweet by and by, we shall meet on that beautiful shore. In the sweet by and by, we shall meet on that beautiful shore. And so it shall be, Dad.